The rainy season has started in Japan. I don't think there is a concept of rainy season in countries other than Japan. The rainy season generally refers to the period in early June when it rains for 1 to 2 weeks. After the rainy season, hot summer comes, so it feels like the rainy season is the beginning of summer. Well, this time I will explain the national strategy that the Chinese Communist Party is doing in the field of manufacturing. In 2015, the theme of Made in China 2025 was announced. This is a national strategy or a national goal. In China, the central government sets a goal, and everyone from the central government to local governments and other civil servants take action to achieve this goal. And since this theme is an important national strategy, many articles and commentaries have been published in other countries as well. Let me explain the contents of this theme. Roughly speaking, the content is to raise China's manufacturing industry to the world's most advanced level. You can see the desire of the Chinese Communist Party, which seems to be China. It may have been possible to achieve it as of 2015, but as of 2023, it is thought that the target will not be achieved. At least the Chinese government is backing up the manufacturing industry based on this policy. And the field that the Chinese Communist Party is backing up is information and communication technology. In particular, we are paying attention to semiconductor technology, which has begun to receive a lot of attention since the Trump administration took office. Relatedly, communication equipment and communication technology related to 5G, and software development related to them are also strong backup fields. Machine tools and robot development are also important areas. Machine tools are a core part of all manufacturing industries, so if this field is not strong, it will affect the quality of the manufacturing industry. It seems that they are aware of the poor quality of Chinese products because they are focusing on machine tools as part of their national strategy. And it's a robot. When you think of robots in Japan, the first thing that comes to mind is industrial robots, but in China's case it's the military. Rather, it is mainly for military use rather than industrial use. In other words, it can be said that the Chinese Communist Party's national strategy of strengthening the manufacturing industry has led to the strengthening of military power. This way of thinking differs from country to country. China is also backing up the manufacturing of electric vehicles, which has been attracting attention recently. It would be more rational to continue using gasoline cars, but the Communist Party's strategy takes precedence. In fact, Western countries are also popularizing electric vehicles, but in the case of China, it is a national policy, so even if there are some problems, it will be promoted. Another area of focus is power equipment. Although it is not widely known, China has long had an electricity shortage problem. Many people only report on the situation in urban areas, so it seems that there is no power shortage, but that is because power is concentrated in urban areas. There is a shortage of electricity in China as a whole. In addition, since China has a large land area, long-distance power transmission is necessary, but there is a lot of loss due to power transmission. Therefore, the Chinese Communist Party believes that it is necessary to innovate various power-related technologies such as power generation technology, transmission technology, and storage technology. There are still areas of focus. Industrial machinery and agricultural equipment. As I mentioned in a previous video, there is a food shortage in China. We are a food importer. Although the country is large, the production cost is inferior to the United States because the ability to produce agricultural products is low. The United States is a large-scale business and mechanization is progressing, but China is a peasant farmer and is labor-powered. Therefore, it has become a food importing power that imports food from the United States and other countries. Dependence on foreign countries for food is a big risk. China's diplomacy is blackmail diplomacy, so it puts pressure on other countries. However, if there is a conflict, tariffs will be raised and trade will be affected. The CCP understands this trade risk, but China's agriculture has yet to modernize. In line with the policy, The local government is also doing various things such as planting trees and plowing the fields, but it is only half done. Speaking of other important areas, we are focusing on new materials. In the field of manufacturing, materials are the upstream part. If you suppress the material, the field that needs the material will depend on the material. When it comes to materials, they are very diverse. There are rare metals and rare earths, but the Communist Party wants to be able to create nanomaterials and superconducting materials. China's major strategy is to make them dependent on China in the field of materials. There is only one important material that depends on China. It's the medical field. Looking at the world of medicine from the perspective of the manufacturing industry, the world is completely different from what it used to be. In the conventional image, we developed new drugs while conducting animal experiments and clinical trials on humans to confirm their safety. Today's drug development is at the cutting edge of biotechnology. The biggest obstacles in drug development are government regulations and the number of patients undergoing clinical trials. Even if the manufacturing technology is established, the number of clinical trials and regulations hinder its application. China sends a large number of foreign students to Europe, the United States and Japan, and there are Chinese who have learned cutting-edge knowledge. The Chinese Communist Party can control the number of patients in clinical trials and regulations as much as it pleases. Therefore, we believe that China has the potential to demonstrate its superiority in this area. But there are problems specific to China. For example, insulin. Before insulin was produced by biotechnology, research into artificial synthesis was progressing. In 1966, Chinese scientists and people who had just returned from studying abroad succeeded in artificially synthesizing bovine insulin for the first time in the world. I'm not a specialist, so I don't know how great a feat it was, but I think it was epoch-making at the time. The successful results were published in a paper. In fact, it seems that it was successful in September of the previous year. What happened to those who succeeded in this development is the outbreak of the Cultural Revolution. Everyone involved in this insulin research will be expelled. After that, I could not return to the research world for about 10 years, and China's insulin development failed. In other words, China's development may fail due to political influence. The same is now happening with electric vehicles and semiconductors. If you back up as a national policy, you will get a subsidy, so people who don't have knowledge will grab the money for the subsidy. In China, politics, money, and public morals have a negative effect on technological development. However, I can't let my guard down. If technological innovation advances correctly, there is a danger that it will become the top of the world culturally, economically, and militarily. That's all for now. See you next time.